This flash flood warning has been updated.
All right, let's get this going. There we go. There we go. Much better. All right, we'll get going here in a second. Let's bring this over here. Bring this over here. Yeah, that'll be good. Let's get weather-wise up.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Did all of those tornado warnings just drop off at the same
A
time?
new flash flood warning has been issued.
Wow. We had 2 minutes, 2 minutes. They all dropped off at the same time. Interesting. Hey, what's going on? We're going to get started in just a second. Just a second. Just popped it up. Just got to finish a few things. One second. All right. All right. Definitely cracking open a Red Bull. Not hearing anything? Check, check. Are you sure? Check, check. It's showing. Check, check, check. There. She's on YouTube. It's showing that my volume is fine on YouTube.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Can you guys hear me over on TikTok? Nice clear day with sunny skies in Boston. Nice. Love to hear it.
New information.
I'll
This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
turn this off for a second. You can hear me? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I'll check my YouTube side just to see real quick. Give me 1 second. Let's go watch myself for a second to make sure the volume is working. Check, check, check. Yeah, it's working. Definitely not an issue on my side. Okay. Okay. What's going on, everybody? All of our tornado warnings dropped. I wish I could have gotten on earlier. I don't even know how long I can be on right now. Just, you know, just pray my daughter keeps sleeping, because if she gets up, I gotta get off. Confused Blonde B, I appreciate you guys. She could literally get up in like a minute or like an hour. Let's hope it's an hour. I wanted to get on earlier. I wanted to post a video this morning. Computer issues, computer issues, computer issues. Good news. My CPU, at least according to UPS, arrives tomorrow. So I'm going to take it right in tomorrow. If it arrives on time, to Geek Squad for them to fix it. bad news is I go to Minnesota for 5 days because I have to do a walkthrough of the home I just bought because I'm moving and sign papers and stuff. So I have to finalize that. So yeah, so my computer might be fixed just in time for me to have to leave for 5 days for that. Because that's going to be a transition period. But we're supposed to move into the house August 1st. I would, between August 1st and August 8th, I'd hope by the second week of August, I have my whole new office set up, a working computer, and everything's back in order. I know the timeline keeps getting shifted, but that's what it looks like right now. YouTube on your smartphone doesn't want to work, right? Yeah, that's funny. Thanks, Jasmine. But yeah, guys, nothing too serious right now. Nothing too serious. Just your average severe thunderstorm warnings right now, 60-mile-per-hour winds. I literally got home and was looking at all these tornado warnings on the ground and was so upset I couldn't get on to cover it. Don't worry, that's eventually going to change, or I'll be able to be on for most of that. But yeah, it's pretty upsetting. 40% chance of development down here as well. So this thing might still reach tropical storm. It's not going to reach hurricane unless it does a crazy southern track. It wasn't because the low pressure was farther back here. It actually shifted slightly to the north, dragging it along Florida's panhandle, just inland. So, I mean, if this thing, instead of going here, had gone like this, stayed just to the south, that would have changed it. Its center of circulation shifted north, went over land. Good news for people down here. It's not really going to change the amount of rainfall you're going to be getting, and it's really always been about the rainfall with the system. The most it was going to get to was a weak hurricane, which isn't much to a lot of these places down here. They're all their buildings and everything, and most of their powers is hurricane proof, at least Cat 1 proof. But flooding's going to be an issue. And I was looking at this earlier, and it's going to be a real issue. Look at the multi-day. This is just 3-day rainfall down here. I mean, we could see this. Look at this, 7-8 inches locally. I think we could get more than that. I think we could get 9-10 inches locally. Pensacola, Mobile, Gulfport, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and the surrounding areas. So that's going to be something we really have to watch. We already have we have already broken the record. We have the most since flash flood warnings have become a thing in 1986. We have record flash flood warnings this year through, not for the year yet, through the month of July. So we are on more than record-setting pace to have the most flash flood warnings ever in a year, and I think we're probably going to beat it within the next 30 days. We're going to beat it like halfway through the year. It's been an insane year of flooding. If this pattern had a setup over winter, the entire country would have been blanketed in snow. I'm kind of mad we're getting this much moisture and precipitation over summer because I want that to stick around for the snow. I will tell you, I'm going to come out with my winter predictions soon. I'm just going to tell you, for anyone who's wondering, December, January, February, I'll tell you right now, this is a super early prediction. NOAA is expecting above average snowfall in here and potentially above average snowfall up here. I don't know about up here. I'm pretty sure up here. I think this corridor could have a decent snow year. And they are expecting below average temperatures. They're giving you your classic Enzo neutral. So they're thinking above average here, hot, cold, and then about average through here for the winter. So hot, average, cold, very early. How the MJO sets up is going to affect snow. How far do we push up towards an El Nino? Does it drop back down to a La Nina in the next couple months? What shift do we see in our Enzo tracking? That's going to change things. But I'll tell you right now, they are early forecasting Great Lake region, upper Midwest for snow, Northwest for snow, average through the Central Plains up through the Midwest and Southwest, average temperatures. And then you got the Northern Rockies, Pacific Northwest, and then the Northeast all the way down through the Southern Plains and Southeast as above average. So that's what's going on there. I'll talk about that later, though. Tornado watch still in effect for central to southern Wisconsin, and I'll get to all your guys' questions soon. Again, 60-mile-per-hour winds, tiny hail. We're not seeing anything too significant on the radar. Let's go to our composite. pretty nice for a lot of you up there in the Pacific Northwest, New England. I will say flooding could be an issue. Maryland, Delaware, Eastern PA, New Jersey again tonight. We've already had flash flooding out in this region. We have more rainfall that's going to come in overnight, late in the evening and overnight. So watch out for that. Western Michigan, Indiana. These storms are going to continue to move east. These could give you an issue. I'm not expecting any significant severe weather, but it's not impossible to get a weak tornado, small hail, or some damaging winds that can knock out power out here throughout the night. And we're still watching a little bit of a severe threat out here through Colorado and eastern Wyoming. So we'll watch that again, just general thunderstorm warnings right now. Nothing serious. Within the next 24 hours, I do expect the center of this low pressure system or this tropical depression to be moving into New Orleans. And again, rainfall. There's really going to be no surge. If there is any storm surge, it's going to be moving out, not in. Maybe weak storm surge into Mobile, but it's almost insignificant storm surge. Sadie. Ashley, I appreciate you. Okay, now I'm gonna answer questions, and we're gonna go over stuff. Is my mic clipping? Check. No. Well, these parts of the country have busted their droughts. Yeah, we did have pretty bad droughts. You can actually look at that here. If we look at our droughts now, we had red droughts through all of Florida. We were in serious drought condition here, and you just got minor droughts now down here in Florida. Nothing too significant. Yeah, I mean, look at this. We're all good out here. Still a little bit out here, but I mean, this map looked a lot crazier a month or two ago. There was a lot of dark reds all over this map, including in the southeast. There's nothing down there. So, no rain in SoCal. I don't think so right now. Let's check. Nothing out there. I don't expect you guys to have too much rainfall moving forward. We could take a look. Let's go up into multi-day. Next 5 days, do we expect any rainfall out there in SoCal? Not really. I mean, this green here is maybe 1/10 of an inch. But if you're talking about where people actually live, which is along the coast here, pretty much nothing. Virginia. Look at Virginia the next 2 days for rainfall-wise. Most of that heavy rainfall is going to be in western and northern Virginia. Central to southeastern Virginia is not going to see much. Severe weather-wise, if we were to go into categorical, so this is our day 1. Day 2, we're going to have a little bit of a severe weather threat today or tomorrow through most of Virginia, not expected to be too severe. And then just general thunderstorms that are going to be possible on Friday. Let's see here. Tsunami in Alaska is crazy. What's going on? Tsunami in Alaska? Hold up. I should actually be... I get tsunami warnings on this thing. If I... do I have tsunami warnings activated? Wait, what's that all about? Hold up. Let me see. "25 minutes ago, tsunami warning is posted for portions of Alaska following a 7.2. That's big. Earthquake 50 miles south of Sandpoint, Alaska." That's a big one. Okay, let's pull this up. I'll keep answering your guys' questions. Nice call, Ray J. Sorry, let me pull Pivotal up. Here we go. Wow. Okay. Now, can I zoom in here? Yeah. Let's drag this. So here is our tsunami warning. I had a friend who lived on Kodiak Island. It's funny. Depth, 22 miles. Magnitude 7.2. Located. Okay. So this happened at 4:37. What timing for this though? Central time? Interesting. Okay, let me look at the messages here. I mean, this is still up. Have you seen any videos of it, Ray J? I'm looking for reports on here. 4:45. Oh, Eastern. Oh, duh. I don't know why I said Central. It's not even that time in Central yet. Duh. Yeah, they have tsunami warnings. Yeah, my software actually has tsunami warnings too from the NWS. I just don't. I should probably activate it. Interesting. Okay, I guess we'll have to watch this. But hey, if there's anyone in chat in Alaska, Southern Alaska, pay attention to what's going on. If you live near the coast, 7.2 is pretty significant.
Warning: a new special marine warning has been issued.
Okay. Anyways, let's go. Let me switch this on the pivotal real quick. 1 second, guys. I gotta get that open. I also want to look at what's going on elsewhere in the tropics, and I'll get back to answering your guys' questions. But let me look at something real quick here. All right, we'll look at that in a second. Let me get back to the radar. New severe thunderstorm warning just to the north of St. Louis, moving down towards St. Louis. 60-mile-per-hour wind, small hail. Nothing major. Yeah, most of the population in Alaska does live, you know, here, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I had a friend who lived up here. She lived on Kodiak Island. She lived on this island here. I'm pretty sure that, you know, there's your capital. So anyways, yeah, there was a tsunami warning up there. Look at all those tornado warnings that just disappeared. That's crazy. Is Georgia and Alabama okay? Georgia and Alabama are fine. Not too much weather down there. You do have some isolated showers in southwestern Georgia and west central Alabama, southeastern Alabama. Nothing major. If we were to look at our categorical outlook today, you guys are just in general thunderstorm. There you go. Queens is looking good. We're going to have some late night showers, thunder showers, likely. You know, flooding is still a possibility because a lot of this ground is saturated. Yeah, there are storms, strong storms moving. Well, they're actually moving just out of Chicago now. They've actually already passed. So Chicago, I don't expect you to get much or anything else tonight. There's a tsunami in Alaska. Yeah, we were talking about it. I want to see if anyone has video or anything of it yet. Because I don't think they do. Do they? It's been confirmed. Storm warnings, rain in effect. Recommended actions. Evacuate, obviously, inland or to higher ground. I feel like that's pretty obvious. Get away from the water if you're in Alaska. If anyone in here is in Alaska. Yeah, 7.2, 7.3 is a massive earthquake, guys. That is a major earthquake. I'm still 5 minutes ago. I'm looking. I don't see the confirmation. I believe you though, because I mean it's pretty rare for an earthquake that large to strike and not cause some sort of tsunami. Sometimes if it's deep enough, it won't. But I can't find like the confirmation. I just keep seeing tsunami warning issued. Tsunami warning issued. Tsunami warning issued from everyone. Here, let's go to live updates. 1 second, guys. This is live updates, and they have nothing. Okay. Yeah, I don't see a confirmation of I don't believe there's been a confirmation of the tsunami yet. There's been obviously a confirmation of the earthquake, but I don't think there's been a confirmation of the tsunami yet. So I don't see it on tsunami.gov either, which is where it would probably go up first. Brooklyn's fine. Flooding could be an issue though. again in New Jersey, southeastern New York, eastern PA, Maryland, and Delaware tonight. It's good. Definitely. Alaska Earthquake Center. Tsunamis in Alaska. Nothing.
New information. This special marine
I can't find any confirmation. All right, we'll
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Yeah, you just have the warning. Yeah, there's gonna be some sort of tsunami. Hopefully, it's not too crazy. Tsunamis don't move too fast. They don't move too fast, so they give you a little bit of timing. Places along the what we call the Ring of Fire, which is where a lot of our earthquakes and volcanoes happen. You know, the Ring of Fire, this range of volcanoes along the Pacific. There's a lot of buoys out here and a lot of technology that tracks, especially on the U.S. coast and some out here near Japan, that track if there's a tsunami and give a pretty good heads up, a pretty decent timing for heads up for people to get inland nowadays. Is there a tsunami right now? There's probably a tsunami. There was an earthquake up here in Alaska, 7.2, which is considered, which is a massive earthquake, very strong earthquake. And it was in the ocean. So there's going to be some sort of tsunami, you know, depending on how deep or how close to the surface the earthquake is, changes if it's a large tsunami or hopefully not a significantly large tsunami. There's going to be some sort of tsunami likely. I'm not a tsunami or earthquake expert, but I know the depth of the earthquake really matters. When it comes to land, if the earthquake is very deep, we get a lot of deep earthquakes out east. We get a lot of very deep earthquakes just because of the way our fault lines are set up. Deep earthquakes, actually, you can feel them much farther away. So that's why, like, years ago when there was an earthquake in Washington, D.C., people in New York City felt it very far. Typically, earthquakes are closer to the surface out in California. So you can have an earthquake in Santa Clarita, and people in L.A., which is very close, all things considered, won't even feel it. A lot of these earthquakes out here are much closer to the surface, and they're much deeper out here. I don't know about Alaska, if these are typically deeper, closer to the surface earthquakes. I think closer to the surface because it's the Ring of Fire. So, you know, how that affects the tsunami, I'm not positive, but you have some sort of tsunami. Hopefully it's just not significant.
New information. This considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Yeah, most of the articles have been shared within the last 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, some as early as 30 minutes ago, but only a couple. See Discord? I'll pull up my Discord. All right. What? Who has a radar in their car? That's sick. What? That's badass. Isn't it what weather talk? Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no imminent reports of casualty or damage yet. We could probably see that. I mean, emergency alerts. Did they post it in there? In the Discord? Probably. Because I'm connected with the NWS. I bet you it's in one of those. Probably SPC, WPC, one of those. Anyways, sorry, let's get back. Let's get back to the coverage. Let me close out of that. I want to answer everyone's questions. Greenwood? What state? What time did it happen at? It happened about 40 minutes ago. Typically, tsunamis don't move too fast, though, but you would think it'd be inland already, and there's not much damage reported yet. It wasn't that far offshore.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
I think it's because you're the only. Yeah, Ray J. I'm in TikTok. I'm streaming on TikTok and YouTube, so I have a ton of comments on YouTube, and then just your guys on TikTok and just your guys on YouTube. Chicago, yeah, guys, Chicago, you should be good for the night. Your severe weather's moving out. Not much happening behind you, so I wouldn't worry too much. Your severe weather day is likely done. Green Bay, Wisconsin, you are still going to have some pretty decent storms moving in. You know, you're getting a lot of rain cooled air out ahead of this main banding down here. So I'd expect just heavy downpours, thunder, and lightning. It's possible to get a tornado embedded in here. It's so I'd keep alerts on, but more likely to be just some gusty conditions and heavy downpours, thunder, and lightning. Keep alerts on though. You have a lot of rainfall moving into you.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Why is everything so quiet? Oh. Someone said Northern Kentucky. Not much going on in Northern Kentucky today. If we take a look at our day 2 outlook, though, you are in a marginal. You could get some severe weather tomorrow, and moving into Friday, general thunderstorms shouldn't be too bad. Rainfall over the next few days. Let's look at the rainfall over the next few days. Expected in Northern Kentucky. Actually, a lot. Actually, a pretty decent amount. I mean, we could have locally some areas 2 to 4 inches of rainfall over the next few days. That's a pretty decent amount. West Bend, Wisconsin. Yeah, you guys have some severe thunderstorms just out to your west. Nothing crazy, just your general 60 mile per hour small hail, 60 mile per hour gust, possible small hail thunderstorms. So I wouldn't be too concerned, but just pay attention over the next hour because it's not impossible for one of these to try and drop a tornado. You are in a tornado watch. Some of these cells are rotating. Even if they do, I think it'd be pretty weak, but it's best to be better to be safe, safe than sorry. So keep your alerts on, keep paying attention. You're gonna have some gusty conditions, maybe some power outages in this region, but I'm not expecting anything too crazy. No problem. Will I cover the tsunami in Alaska? Well, I'm keeping up. I'm keeping up with alerts, and there's just not much reported on it. They put up a tsunami warning, meaning there's the chance that we could have a tsunami because we had a massive earthquake right off the coast, but there's been nothing more on it. There's been no damage recorded or casualties or anything like that. So there's really not much to talk about with it right now. If it's a deep enough or earthquake or one close enough to the surface, like I said, it changes if you have a big tsunami or you don't have really a tsunami at all, depending on the depth of the earthquake. So we may not even get a tsunami at all. But if we do, I'm watching for updates on it. Let me see. Yeah, I'm still looking for any significant update. If you guys see one, let me know. But the tsunami warning's issued, but we still don't have a confirmed tsunami. And we might not get one. But we still probably have a little bit of time. No problem. Philly, we're looking good. We're going to have a lot of rainfall overnight, though. We already have, obviously, we've had flash flooding out in Jersey, southeastern PA, a little bit out there in Delaware and Maryland. And you can see as we move through the night tonight, here come more showers, a lot more rainfall. So flooding, southeastern New York, Long Island, Jersey, eastern PA, Maryland, Delaware. We got to watch out for flooding tonight. Mobile, Alabama. I was talking about that earlier. Big rainfall. I'm not too worried about this thing strengthening too much more. It stayed over land for too long. My hunch was incorrect last night. It's embarrassing. It wasn't wrong that the low pressure was out further, but I didn't expect a northern shift. I don't think really any of the models saw that happening, but it's good. It didn't have much time to strengthen. But Mobile, let's take a look. This is the only thing you really need to worry about. Let's look at our 3-day precipitation up here in Mobile. You could see locally in some areas 6 to 8 inches of rainfall. So heavy rainfall over the next 72 hours, probably next 48 hours. What's going on, NTX? A tsunami has been confirmed and some impacts are expected. Revised magnitude. Did they revise it to a 7.3? I saw some saying 7.3. Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, a tsunami is very likely with an earthquake of that magnitude. It's not, but the size of the tsunami can really vary depending on the depth of the earthquake. It could be an insignificant size, or it could be a very damaging one. I don't think it's possible to not have some sort of raise and an ocean height when you have that type of earthquake, especially out here where you have a continental shelf that extends out pretty far. So that earthquake would have happened in the crust, pretty close to the water surface. 7.3, yeah. Says it was 15 kilometers deep. I need to brush up on my here. Well, let me look at something real quick.
Warning: a new special marine warning has been issued.
Yeah, so that's a very shallow earthquake. That's a very, very shallow. So you can have earthquakes out on the East Coast that are like 500 kilometers deep. So that's a very shallow earthquake. So that would have been very close to the surface. It would have been very close to the surface. As I said, typically out here, your earthquakes out west are much shallower, are much closer to the surface, and your earthquakes out east are much deeper. So that makes sense. Let me look this up too. Yeah, so the earthquake's closer. So the earth, okay, so yeah, I just double checked and looked that up. So the earthquakes that do happen closer to the ocean surface or the sea floor do tend to generate larger tsunamis. So this was a very significant earthquake, 7.3 in magnitude, that was very shallow, very close to the sea floor. So all things, 15 kilometers is a lot, but not in terms of the Earth's crust. So you would expect a pretty decent tsunami out of this. We'll have to continue to wait and see. Yeah. So we may be waiting on some pretty bad news. I hope not. It depends how the snap and everything happens too, because you can have with an earthquake, there's a couple different ways that they can be triggered. You can have a slip in the continental shelf. Okay, so you have two pieces of crust pushing up against each other and one slips like this. Or you can have a pop where you have one like that where they're pushing against each other and one pops up like this. Now, an earthquake that does this instead of slips, instead of sliding under the other crust, is going to generate a much bigger tsunami, obviously. So I think it depends how the tsunami occurred as well. You'd expect if the crust, like I said, the second way you'd expect to create a pretty large tsunami. We don't know enough about what happened yet, but one thing is for sure, they're going to get a lot of they're guaranteed to get a lot of aftershocks with the 7.3. Those aftershocks can be very strong too. You can get an aftershocks at a 6.5, 6, 5.5 easily, and depending on how that earthquake happens, could trigger. We're probably going to see more tsunami warnings over the next few days out there. It's rare to not have some decent aftershocks after an earthquake that large. Wait, I lagged. What's happening in Minnesota? Minnesota's good right now. You guys are chilling out there. Not much. Next week, we could see some pretty significant weather out there, though. It's day 2, day 3. General thunderstorms as we move into Friday. Next week, Minnesota. Check this out. Well, let's go on our NAM 3K.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
We can't go out far enough. Let's go really quickly into Pivotal.
A new severe thunderstorm warning.
GFS. 850 millibar. All right, getting into Tuesday, Wednesday. Ooh, this has actually gone farther south on the GFS. Ooh, this is becoming a Tornado Alley threat. An Omaha threat as well. Sorry, B. This jet stream has slipped a little bit south. Interesting. Look at that. Look at that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Ooh. Actually. Look at that. That's midnight. Wednesday going into Thursday. Look at this whole entire 850 millibar. Okay. Let's look at our... Let's see what happened with our cape. Wow, look at that. Look at that. 7,000 joules per kilogram. Eastern Nebraska, including Omaha. Then you've got Des Moines, Minneapolis,
New information. This severe
Sioux Falls, Omaha, 7,000 to 8,000 joules per kilogram. Okay, guys. Well, listen. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think it's going to be mainly a Wednesday, Thursday thing, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday out here could get real extra spicy. I'm going to try to draw a pepper. Fire. That's my fire. I'll go over that, though, at another time. You thought tornado season was over. I'm just kidding. Hopefully that trends down. Is that where tropical currently is? Yes, this is where our tropical disturbance is. Actually, let me see if I can pull up because we still have some sunlight. Here we go. Did they add in a hurricane model on here? One second. I want to see if I can get you a better one. I feel like they said they added in a hurricane model. I don't think so. Anyways, here it is. The actual low pressure looks to be right here. That's where the actual low pressure looks to be. Now, look, you've got some convection flaring up out ahead, a little bit out behind. If this thing closes off the eye just a tiny bit before moving into New Orleans or into Mississippi, southern Mississippi, southeastern Louisiana, we could still get a tropical storm out of this. But it shifted overnight to the north, tracked over land for a while, and that prevented some strengthening. So, just going to be a big rainmaker, likely. What kind of rain can you expect in Pensacola? A good 3 to 4 inches locally is possible. Some pretty heavy downpours. Connor, will we see severe weather for the eastern and southeastern U.S. this week or next week? Well, here's our 7-day for the southeast. Good amount of rainfall for Florida, southern Georgia, southern Alabama, central to southern Mississippi, and Louisiana. Good amount of rainfall for North Carolina, Virginia, portions of Tennessee as well. Really, the only people who at least right now don't look like they're going to receive much is upstate South Carolina, central to northern Georgia, and then central to northern Alabama, northern Mississippi. The rest of the southeast is going to see a decent amount of rainfall over the next 7 days. After that, we'll have to see what happens. 9 aftershocks reported already? Yeah. Oh, they confirmed the tsunami? Okay, good to know. Well, I'm sure we'll get some reports back soon. Tsunami. Yeah, for those who are just joining, major earthquake off the coast of Alaska and a confirmed tsunami. So, not really something you can see on satellite or anything. So, we're just gonna have to wait for updates. What's going to happen in Alaska? The tsunami was also close to the surface. The tsunami happened like, the earthquake happened somewhere in here. I think it was like in here. 7.3 earthquake. So and this is the most populated area in Alaska. So we could see some damage. There was decent warning for people. So hopefully everyone's getting inland. I'll tell you this: it is not hard to get to high elevation in Alaska. The mountains run right up to the coast in most of these areas. So that's a good thing about a tsunami out here. People go a mile or two and they are very, very highly elevated away from the tsunamis. Whereas if you had a tsunami run into the coast of Washington, well, you're not that far from mountains either, but Alaska, they run right up to the coast. If there was a tsunami in Florida, they'd be screwed. It's ocean level. A lot of these areas are already pretty high up. K2, I appreciate you. Yep. Yeah, anyone up in Alaska? I don't know if I have anyone in Alaska on my stream. Maybe only because there's a tsunami warning up there, but everyone needs to get to some higher ground. At least for the next 1 to 2 hours. At least for a couple hours while they assess how large the tsunami is and if there's going to be multiple. Because remember, you can get some more trigger. When a tsunami happens, if the earthquake does snap correctly, it's going to push in about 7 different waves, and they're going to be maybe sometimes 10 minutes apart. So people think, oh, it went back out. I can go back down to sea level, and then another tsunami comes in. It creates multiple waves, not just one. And then the aftershocks can create more too. So you got to give it some time and just pay attention to what the authorities say. Let's see. How's the weather going to be in Nashville on the 25th? That's pretty far out. We can look at what the GFS thinks that far out, though, if you want. But it's not going to be too accurate. You know, if you wanted to see what the American model thinks on the 25th, there you go. Thunderstorms. Bad thunderstorms. But again, 9-10 days out, that may not be accurate. Models, after we get out of that 4 or 5 day range, really drop off a cliff.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
It brings the storm back. Well, no, I think that's a separate low pressure. Well, we can take a look at that. Yeah, because here, I'll take a look at that really quickly. So let's go to tropical tidbits. Let's go to forecast models, GFS. 18Z isn't out yet. We'll go to the 12Z. Okay, so here's our low pressure system right here. The heck? Why isn't it letting me write? Here's our low pressure system. It's going to... Wow, it may actually be the same one. It may actually be the same one. It gets pushed out. It may be the same low pressure. It moves in, it gets pushed out, and then circulates back down. It wouldn't be the first time that's happened with other storms before. And then stalls. Interesting. What I'm more interested in is what is happening down here in the Caribbean. Multiple low pressures trying to push into the southern Caribbean and then into the Gulf. I'm more concerned about this area. Oh, sorry, guys. I don't know. Why isn't it on the screen? I'll get that. I'll switch that, guys. Give me a second. Why does it have that? Let me fix this. Hold up. There you go. This area, we see a lot of convection, multiple low pressure systems trying to get going in southern to western Caribbean, then moving into the Gulf. This is through the end of July.
A new special marine warning has been issued.
This right here. This right here is very interesting to me. It's 270 hours out, but this is a lot of convection showing up here. And I don't think we're going to have much shear through this region either at that point. So watch end of July for a decent storm in the Gulf.
New information. This flash flood warning has been updated.
But yeah, what I was talking about when you guys couldn't see the screen is basically here is our storm that's going to move inland. It wants to come up here, rotate down, go back over Florida, and then try to become a tropical storm again. So it's just going to go in a loop. We've had this happen multiple times before with storms where they make landfall, they push off the coast, and then they somehow get they just meander back and then cross again.
A new severe thunderstorm.
But look at the GFS putting a tropical storm into southeastern Texas potentially at the end of July. We'll see. We'll see what the Euro says. Too early to really see if that's actually going to happen or not. Mods, do your thing.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has
do you see something for Puerto Rico? Based on that,
severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
there's not much happening out there in the Eastern Caribbean. This is really interesting, though. This, to me, is really interesting. That I have to go and check with. Well, I'm not going to check yet because it's too far out. But if the Euro begins to agree with that, that'll be interesting. Chesterfield, Missouri. Oh yeah, you got some strong storms about to move in. Nothing too bad. 6 mile per hour winds, wind gusts possible, small hail possible, but you're about to actually have a decent amount of wind moving through. There's a gust front about to move right over your head. Nothing too severe, though. You're going to follow? I appreciate that. I appreciate the follows, guys. Thank you. Seriously. Means a lot. Is there any live footage in Alaska? I don't think so. On here, at least. I could probably try to pull some up. Let me keep looking at updates. Give me 1 second. That's not what I want to do. Ugh, none. Let's see, Alaska live cam. Yeah, there's some. I don't think any of that's going to give too good of a view of what's going on. Still waiting on reports. Yep, strong storms moving in through northwestern Illinois right now. You've got 60 mile per hour gusts possible, small hail. Again, tornado chances are definitely dropping off as these storms continue to push off east. Not too worried about tornadoes. If we did look at our tornado risk zone, I think this is going to drop off in a little bit, but there's kind of none out here where the main squall line is right now. So tornado chances for the night are pretty low. Is it true ocean currents are reversing? They're not. It's a half truth. Ocean currents change, slow down. It's happened for millions of years. It all has to do with, a lot of it has to do with water temperature. And when you have changing ocean temperatures, it can, a warm stream will change its direction, interacting with colder water. Reverse, you're not just going to have the Gulf Stream suddenly slow down and then reverse. That happens over a very, very, very long period of time. But sometimes it'll slow to almost a stop and then begin to meander off and create a different current. It's nothing we need to worry about in the short term. But changing water temperatures and changing ice in the poles affect ocean currents a lot.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Okay, can I send some cooler weather this way? Yali, let's take a look at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. All right, let's take a look at our 8 to 14 day. Sorry. All right, guys, give me 1 second, okay? Any risk in St. Louis? You got some storms moving in right now. You're going to have some gusty conditions. You could see some power outages. Nothing major. It's going to kind of be like a general thunderstorm, but it's going to be a strong thunderstorm likely. You could have some gusty conditions, but not too severe. Yeah, I bet it did. Western suburbs of Chicago, yeah, and but you're good for the night. Yeah, you had some very, very strong bands move through.
This flash flood warning has been updated.
Did I check the climate reanalyzer? Do you want the climate reanalyzer? North Atlantic. We are cooler. We are cooler than we were last year by a significant amount. A decent amount. We are actually, look how cold our subpolar North Atlantic is. Just so you guys know what this means, taking a look at our 70-year average, for the subpolar North Atlantic, we're average. The ocean temperatures are normal. Imagine that. Imagine that. I've been talking about this lately on stream. There's more ice in the poles. We've had our ozone layer closing a little bit, and we've seen water temperatures decrease this year. Very interesting. Atlantic MDR, just above average. Much cooler than last year. Look at this trend downwards. Big trend downwards. Gulf of Mexico, still pretty warm. Still pretty warm. Cooler than last year at this time. And our Nino 3.4, it's average. That's because we're in an Enzo neutral. Waters are cool. That's why Colorado State University lowered their expected hurricanes this year. Waters are not supposed to be this cool.
This flash flood warning has been updated.
So I think it'll blow out. What will blow out? Yellowstone, animals are leaving. Seismic activities are off the scale. I hope not. I hope not. How does Green Bay look for tonight? You guys have some pretty decent thunder showers moving through. You're gonna get some thunderstorms later. Here's our low pressure spinning right here. Kind of surface low moving up. It's gonna move up through Appleton and Green Bay. So expect strong downpours, thunder, and lightning over the next. Let's take a look at how long this is expected to last for you guys. Pretty late into the night. At least till probably 10 p.m. No problem. Yeah. Thanks, Confused Blonde. Let me check something real quick.
Warning, a new special marine warning has been issued.
1 second, guys. Un momento.
New information. This special marine warning has been updated.
Okay. Yes, there is a tsunami in Alaska. We've been talking about it. Still waiting on updates on if we're going to see any damage, how large the wave is. Luckily, like I said, where it's happening, I mean, obviously this is the main population of Alaska, but a lot of these mountains run right up to the coast, so it's pretty easy for them to get above ground, and they got a pretty decent warning. So if we do see a good sized wave, hopefully there's not much casualties. But it was a very large earthquake, very close to the ocean floor, so that's not good. How can you tell how much time before it reaches your location? Well, around most of what we call the Ring of Fire, which is right here, goes across the Eastern Pacific, Northern Pacific, and then down the Western Pacific, where we have tons of volcanoes, and then across Hawaii down here as well, Central Pacific to Southern Pacific. There's a ton of tsunami buoys, which can signal if there's a tsunami and the speed at which it's moving at. So if the buoys did their thing out here, hopefully they were able to track it. It's pretty hard to track it if you don't have that information from the buoys. What's going on in Colorado right now? Not much. Scattered thunderstorms. Know the ring well. Guys, I have to get off. My daughter is waking up. So I got to go get her up. I'll see if I can get on stream later. If anyone is in here who lives in Alaska, just please get to higher ground right now and wait some hours until you hear from authorities, because again, there's not going to be one wave. If there's a tsunami, there's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There can be a lot, and they're spaced out 10, 15, 20 minutes sometimes. So just so you know that. Tornado chances are basically done tonight. We could see a weak tornado out here in western Michigan, western Indiana. Nothing too big to worry about. Flooding is going to be an issue again. Southeastern New York, Long Island, New Jersey, eastern PA, potentially northern Maryland, northern Delaware. Lots of rain is going to move through later tonight. And we are still seeing some severe thunderstorms southeastern Wyoming, eastern Colorado, and northeastern New Mexico. So our system down here is expected to make landfall tomorrow as a tropical depression or tropical storm. It's mainly going to be a rain threat. If you are in any of these cities along the coast, if you're in Panhandle of Florida, Western Panhandle of Florida, Southern Alabama, Southern Mississippi, and Southern Louisiana, you could have some very, very heavy 6, 7, 8, 9-inch local rainfall, and you could see some decent flash flooding. So I'm sorry I got to get off, guys, but my daughter is up, so I got to go. And I may get on later. May not, but I appreciate you guys being in here. I appreciate the follows. And I'll continue to put the updates out. My CPU gets here tomorrow, so hopefully my computer will be permanently fixed. All right. See you guys.